Hi everybody, this is Bobby Bass here. It's a rain day here at Lake I Want to Be There, and with the water dripping in the background, we're going to spend a little time doing some work in our spinnerbait box collection. As you can see out in front of me, here's an assortment of spinnerbaits that have been used and abused this past late summer and fall, and some replacement skirts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these lures here and I'm going to show you how to bring them back so that they look just like new, and a couple of tricks that I use when I'm fishing spinnerbaits. This spinnerbait here, you can see, is pretty well battered up. The skirt is about half of what it was there, and the white blade that's on here is pretty beat up and dull. So we're going to put a new blade on, and we're going to dress it up with a couple of new skirts. Okay, the first thing that we do is we go ahead and we change out the old blade for a new white blade, and then the next thing we do, and you should do as often as you can remember, is sharpen that hook. More fish are lost by a hook that's not sharpened than by anything else. So always make sure you sharpen up your hook, and you can get these small little sharpening stones and sharpen that baby up. And the easiest way to make sure your hook is sharpened is that you should be able to scratch your fingernail with it. We can see there or not. If you can scratch your fingernail with it, then your hook is sharp. Okay, this spinnerbait here has been changed out. We have a new blade on it now. Nice clean white blade, and we put on a skirt. And what we've done is we've taken the skirt, instead of putting it on the factory way, we reversed it and we put it on this way. And then you can see how the skirt hangs now. It's out and it's real bulk and fluffy. When you take this and throw this up next to a dock, you can fish this like a jig. It'll fall down and you'll have all this skirt. You'll have the blade rolling slightly, and then you'll have all this skirt popping out away from the hook instead of having it all nice and tight. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add more bulk to this skirt we're going to add a secondary skirt into that. And what we're going to do there is, we can't use one of these kind of skirts because there's not enough room on the hook shaft. Well, we're going to take one of these rubber band skirts, and a chartreuse and a yellow that is another good color that I like. And we're going to take this and we're going to run this right over the top of the hook, and we're going to slide it all the way up to the base of the other skirt, push it up tight. And now look at all the bulk that we have on this spinnerbait. This is only a 1/4 ounce spinnerbait we're doing this to. You can certainly do it to a bigger spinnerbait if you want to, but I fish a lot with just using these 1/4 ounce spinnerbaits. Now to finish this lure off, we're going to take a chartreuse and yellow. The 3-inch or the 4-inch gulp work really well. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to thread this on, and we're only going to go about 3/4 to an inch in, and we're going to take the gulp and use that too to hold our skirts up. So now we have this big mouthful that we're going to have. Bass and northerns both like to hit this. Something else you can also do, depending on the kind of spinnerbait you have, is you can get these spinnerbaits that do have just the rubber band skirts on them, and then you can add one of these, the solid top skirts, and we're going to same thing. We're going to take it and we're going to put it on backwards. We're going to slide it through, and that's going to give you all that bulk again. And this is going to slide back and forth on here, so that's where we need to add your trailer. We're going to add a trailer to this one, making sure you sharpen your hooks. And there you have another same kind of deal. Okay, so here you have a couple of spinnerbaits. They both weigh the same. They're both 1/4 ounce spinnerbaits. This has just a single reversed skirt on it with the smaller blade, and then on the same frame we're going to double up the skirts, put on a gulp trailer and add a bigger blade, but we're still throwing the same weight, and look at how much more bulk it is. Also, you can see this is a factory tuned one, and how far out the blade is at. And I like, once again, I get to bend these down so we get that blade just to be ticking right over the top of the gulp trailer. So for a couple pennies, this is what you can do to increase your action on your spinnerbait by just adding a new blade. Make sure you sharpen the hook up, replace the skirts. Doubling your skirt up really gives you bulk to your lure. Of course, putting a trailer, whether it's a plastic or a gulp on there, taking this lure and tossing it up next to docks and letting it flutter for a couple of seconds as it goes down. You can fish this lure just like it's like a jig, and you have the versatility that it's a spinnerbait, and you can go ahead and slow roll it, bringing it back, just rolling it across the top of the leads. And this is a real good bass bait this time of the year. It's a real good northern bait. If you want to go to a copper bladed color for the northerns, that seems to really turn them on. Or you can also just take and go to a white skirt and instead of the colors, and go with a big white gulp. That's another good combination. Pretty much I've made these all in white, but come fall time, this is a color that I like. And as you can see, there's a picture of a bass with this combination worked on. I hope this helped. For those of you who are still out fishing, try this combination and see if it does something for you.